maybe a Taliyah, and that feels like a huge risk. So not great targets for a Galio ultimate, but certainly another hard diving team for C9. A lot of engage, set up for the Xayah to play around Svenskeren and Sneaky as the primary damage.
That is the biggest difference between yesterday and today for Cloud9. This time they're surrounding Sneaky with tons of bodyguards, lots of crowd control to apply plasma to the enemy team, allow him options to escape in team fights or dive in and move forward. I think that this is a composition that can easily play defensively or offensively. Meanwhile, Vitality with the LeBlanc in the mid lane, that should always have priority over Galio, and it's going to be about which one of the top/mid does stay in the jungle. It looks like it was the Jarvan that will stay jungle.
Yeah, with Gragas in the top lane here for Cabochard, of course, one of his most played, actually. He's already got 4 of them in the split.
We get the tank top lane.
Yeah, well, still a tank top lane. You know, might see a little bit of AP on him, but that'll be a fun matchup to watch.
I'm a huge fan of Jarvan jungle. I'm glad that he's back into the meta. There are a lot of options here. We can even have Vitality and Kikis going just red buff into level 2 gank, something that he has done versus North American teams in the past on different teams, or with the buff to Jarvan, lowering the cooldown on Martial Cadence, the passive percentage damage auto, his clear is actually significantly quicker as well.
We definitely have a composition from Vitality where they can force a lot of plays. Even in the early game, all the lanes can actually apply pressure and have CC set up for a jungler to play around. It's not as easy with the long-range engage that yesterday, but there's a lot of playmaking.
All right, let's see what happens into this one. It's going to be an exciting one. Europe versus North America is always a treat to watch at Worlds. Vitality off to a great start. They took down the defending world champions in their debut. Cloud9 fought the MSI champions and had not nearly as good of a result as Uzi and Co. walked all over them yesterday, but now it's time for maybe some vengeance out of C9 here. This group does feel a bit wide open. If Vitality can beat Gen G, C9 suddenly can feel confident that maybe they can make it out, and we'll see if they can battle Vitality well here.
All right, Kikis here with the Predator Jarvan. Very excited to see as far as the possible positioning here around early wards goes as well, because it looks like they're moving up into the brush. Not going to be threatening too much as far as the invade.
Cabochard has body slammed over and snuck his way in behind.
This could be bad for Sneaky if he shows himself.
Well, right now Zeyzal's tracking Jactroll. They know where that Thresh is going. They know which way he's walking. He's up towards this side of the map, so Sneaky's going to walk backwards. And not much of a risk there as Vitality runs through. They get a ward, and that's really all they get. No one was too greedy on their movements, and C9 was kind of crossing their T's and dotting their I's.
Yeah, they're actually moving back towards their own jungle now. That could have been a flash if he had body slammed forward, but I think he wasn't sure if there was anyone else from C9 waiting, and therefore he just ended up walking away.
They did leave a ward behind on the Cloud9 blue buff as well, so Vitality will retain some information off of that invade. They're sending Kikis over to the red buff to start that one out by himself, and he'll just continue through the jungle, whereas Taliyah, Svenskeren, starting on top side and might wrap through.
And this already tells us a bit about the bottom lane focus. They didn't stay to give a super good leash to Kikis. They actually wanted to join C9 instantly when the wave arrived, so you can get that first push for level 2. And when you're drafting this Thresh pick, instead of something like a Rakan, you're definitely saying we want more focus on the laning phase here. We want to actually look for some picks around Jactroll. He is the kind of support who believes a lot in himself and he wants to be a huge playmaker. But it's actually I would actually call him the most inconsistent support we have, because he will be 10-0 or 0-10.
It's also weird thinking that the option of not taking Rakan with Xayah is the option for more playmaking, considering the extra range and the explosive engage that you can get with that champion. But it does feel like, Thresh, he has more options, can lantern in and maybe assist Kikis a little bit more in coming to that lane. So maybe they want to have more participants in the bottom lane party.
I want to see what those parties kind of look like and who's going to get down there. We do have Summoner Teleport in for Jensen in the mid lane. Of course, Galio himself good at showing up once level 6 comes around. Watching him face up against Jiizuke on this LeBlanc, who can be very, very scary, has the Ignite, willing to play super aggressive alongside that Jarvan jungle.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to how this early lane phase is going to go, because so often, and we've even seen Jensen himself in the reverse of this matchup on the LeBlanc, absolutely punish players for early picking the Galio, getting lane advantage, pushing them in, being able to roam first and accrue a CS benefit for the team. What is Jiizuke going to be able to pull off here against Jensen?
I don't think too much because of Aftershock on the Galio and TP. Like, it's the super defensive setup on the Galio here. It should be very hard for Jiizuke to actually get the kill as long as Jensen can proc his Aftershock, obviously. And that's kind of the thing, if you look at the Galio pick here, and if you look at the entire comp, it's really not about Jensen being the big carry. It's not about Licorice being the big carry on the Ornn either. You mentioned this in draft already. It's all about Sneaky. Like, you want to make sure Sneaky becomes the big carry in the late game. I think early, the bridge towards it is going to be the Taliyah pick. And what I like to see is often like Taliyah with things like Alistar. In this case, it's a Nautilus. If you land the hook on Nautilus, you roughly know where people are going to get pulled to, and you can then land the knockback from a Taliyah, and you can burst someone down really quickly.
Yeah, that one's definitely more risky than, as you
not as
mentioned before,
safe with the Alistar.
a point and click. You know, maybe a Galio taunt catches on someone and you can get the easy seismic shove, but I definitely agree with you. Taliyah plus crowd control setup does spell a lot of early game burst damage and some possibilities here for Svenskeren. You know, he's the one that has been starting since we got to group stages for Cloud9, back on the world stage, and they're going with the more veteran of their jungler option.
Yeah, and even a little bit before then, of course, he played the last half of the best of 5 to even qualify. I mean, Gambit took C9 to all 5 games. FLICKR played the first 2, was okay, and then Sven came in and kind of took care of business the rest of the way through, went 2-1 on that scoreline, and yeah, certainly C9, again, putting a lot of that faith back in their old lineup. It's kind of interesting how similar their lineup now at this point looks to Spring Split, where they had all these roster shuffles back and forth, 9 different players started for C9 throughout this split, and now they're back to the same 4 plus Zeyzal that they played throughout the rest of spring. I just kind of find it interesting. They've kind of congealed back to that same roster, and now you're back at Worlds.
But more motivated.
But more motivated. That was the thing.
I mean, we actually just have to give so much praise to the C9 organization for the scouting work they did and how they utilized this huge roster, because there are some of these names here that you didn't expect to see in the lineup if you go back a year, like Licorice, obviously, in the top lane has been fantastic.
Incredible.
Zeyzal has been a great addition down in support, and these are players that they didn't have to go out and like blow up the budget to get, because they actually got them from their own academy team into the main roster, and that's exactly what that system is intended for.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Kikis was such a huge pickup for Vitality as well. You guys can't stop telling me about how they went 11-1 since picking up the new jungler. He's absolutely
It's a great story.
given Vitality new life, and it has shown up here in Worlds. I mean, they come out game number 1, huge upset, take down Gen.G, go up 1-0 in the group. And really, this was even still with a lot of the rumors around scrims coming through, not so hot for Vitality, yet they show up, huge performances, and they get the victory.
I mean, they showed up massively.
They did. They surprised us, honestly, against Gen.G, but we kind of looked at that match as well and said, if there's one game where they're going to beat these guys, it's day 1. It's the first time they face each other. They can't surprise them. We got in a scrim thing. For everyone who takes it a little bit too serious with scrim results, I can already tell you that I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that Vitality were a strong scrim team. It's always like, there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of kills, and then no one knows what's going to happen. And that's kind of been the style they've been playing in practice, on stage, and I like that. I hate teams who play super aggressive in scrims and then play super passive on stage. I respect the Vitality stick to the same style.
Sure.
Even if behind, they will fight.
And they played a very, very good mid and late game up against Gen.G yesterday. Now they are in the early game against Cloud9, and we are back on the Rift. Jiizuke had some audio tweaks needed, then restarted the game, I believe, and now he's back here. So we're once again looking at the early game and seeing who can do what as the camps are coming down, and we wait for our matchups to play through here. Nothing too surprising in these lanes so far. I do want to point out Relic Shield Thresh is not always the most common pickup. We see coin a little bit for him, but going for a slightly tankier look, even if it will deny some gold later on in the game.
Yeah, allow a little bit of healing. And as we said, with the Thresh pick, we are expecting more members down towards the bottom side. As you can see there, Kikis, you know, he routed Red Krug's bottom once again, which is kind of the classic one now for blue side, into the Scuttle Crab for himself, securing some vision for that bottom lane to work with and push up, keep Sneaky and Zeyzal under their turret, try and pressure this Xayah, which, you know, Cloud9 really rely on so heavily.
But Cabochard needs to be careful. They're basically splitting up the map right here.
Top lane gank stun's gonna be landed. Now watch out for the seismic shove and where anyone could go. Cabochard getting lower and lower, but Licorice down to 300 as well, and Cabo not looking for a way out, finally gonna flash it. The flash to chase, and he's got nowhere to go. Big damage coming up though. And where's the reinforcements? A flash forward, no shove, but the damage will finally come through, and first blood eventually lands for Svenskeren.
And sure, it looked fine with some damage right there, but Cabochard, your entire early game plan is to just split the map in half. Your jungler is on bottom side. He might find Zeyzal here. Nope, he ends up just going to the wolf camp, but you have one job as a top laner. Do not die to the enemy jungler when you have no one to help you on that side.
Yeah, one of the classic don't die level 3 gank, please, top laner does come to fruition here, but Kikis does have some options here. Clears out the scuttle, takes away a bit of the wolf camp from Svenskeren in payment for that top lane kill.
And I think the only reason maybe Cabochard did not expect Svenskeren yet was...
Oh, the flash ban ignite is on. The taunt there. Jensen down about 200. Burning, he's going to survive this walk away.
Oh, Chains, I believe, just missed when he
Yeah.
jumped forward right there. Would have killed Jensen.
Telling you, Deficio, this LeBlanc into Galio matchup.
Hey, it's even right now.
All right, let's take another look at the replay from topside, though. As you were talking about during it live, you want to hold on to your crowd control ability until the flash is used from Cabochard, so he can't use it to dodge the seismic shove. In the end, though, it doesn't really matter.
Oh,
But
bot
now the
lane.
bottom laner, Root is there. The lantern's going to get him out, but the hook not going to land either. Nice try on that gank, not going to happen. I wanted to call what happened in the mid lane, though, because Jiizuke burned both summoners to make that kill happen. Didn't get it. They both recalled. Jensen got the TP back, and now I think has pressure in that lane.
Yeah, exactly. And what we mentioned earlier with the Aftershock TP, like very defensive choice from Jensen. Dying 1v1 is not something that is actually very likely to happen, even though it was close with Jiizuke jumping forward. Jensen did manage to stay alive. Last little point on that top lane thing, I think Cabochard expected Svenskeren to go straight to blue buff and not actually go straight for level 3 gank top. Really the only reason for him to stay that far forward. Anyway, C9, decent start in this game with the first blood. Sadly did not get something bot lane because Lantern was in place. Attila got out.
Yeah, nice defensive play there, positioning back in the lane to allow his marksman an easy escape. No summoners were blown by Vitality in that escape either, and Svenskeren did reveal himself, so it allows Kikis now to move in a little bit more aggressively, try and find the Taliyah before she ranks up. A lot of it is levels for Taliyah.
Yeah.
If you need more levels in your threaded volley now with the nerfs to her early game.
And she's out of camps to clear right now. Both scuttles got taken over by Kikis. He stole the blue buff as well. Has his own blue and Gromp still to clear, and that is a nice hook into play. Backward Sneaky, not quite real, but the chase is in. He's gonna flash away. Will it be enough? The summoner heal keeps him alive. And now under the turret is a Root. A bunch of damage there as well. And Attila gonna keep running away. Will stay alive. Get away from the feathers. They will do so. A nice tank on the hook as well. Zeyzal doesn't get in, but now on the top side, Cabochard getting hit with the ulti into seismic shove. He's got nowhere to go, and top lane's 2-0.
Great repeat gank there from Svenskeren, taking advantage, knowing that the flash was still down from Cabochard to get that kill. But the
Look at
bottom
mid lane.
lane skirmish was great. Let's take a look at the mid.
Well, Jensen has flash, though, so Kikis not going to get much done with this. These ganks aren't happening. Kikis is out farming. He is out counter jungling, but the ganks work for Svenskeren.
Exactly, but bot lane, that was an insane 2v2 fight. So many summoners blown as well.
It was actually so clean, the start of that 2v2 for Vitality from Jactroll. We'll look at that replay later, but the first replay is the kill that we missed.
Yeah, and this is again where Cabochard is really hurting his team by losing flash in the initial gank where he also dies. Now there's no way for him to get out, even with a lane gank. If you look at the wards on the minimap, they thought they had everything warded so they could spot Svenskeren, but because you don't have flash and you get hit by the knockup, you still died.
I love this Jactroll play. Goes in, flays Zeyzal backwards, uses the lantern to then bring Attila past Zeyzal. This Nautilus is just waddling forward, slow champion in the game, trying to get up, but once he does, and Sneaky saving his heal, C9 actually turned it back around to get almost an even health trade on it.
In the end, only the supports keep their flashes. Sneaky no summoners, Attila no summoners, Kikis level 6 on bottom side. Can he get in range? Lantern is available. He just needs to lock Sneaky down.
To play Lantern, flash play, get him into the squad. This could be a very easy dunk, and there's no way out for Sneaky. Great kill picked up. The pull almost works on a Zeyzal, but still a nice gank in for Kikis.
And then Kikis, now level 6 on Jarvan, able to use the Cataclysm for some extra damage, ensure that they kill Sneaky this time, take him off the table, and this is big because there is a double-stacked minion wave they're pushing in the tower while he's dead.
Oh, Svenskeren and Jensen around the river here. Will they try and contest anything? No, just takes the blast cone and will take the wave with the support on bottom side. We should get more ganks bot lane from Vitality. They have to set up Sneaky, no flash for a couple of minutes.
Again, Deficio, what you and I talked about in Champ Select, the Xayah, the bottom lane focus for Cloud9, that was necessary here. Sneaky, once again, is the target from the opponents, and it is going to be successful here. Jactroll goes in, Lanterns. He knows that he has a flash advantage this time around, so he just flashes in for the guaranteed play, and they know they have the extra cooldowns to be able to pull off that kill.
I love that Jactroll saved Hook until someone flashed out. He knows flaying into Dunk is a guaranteed force flash for Zeyzal. Tried to follow the Hook. A little bit slow, but you have to react to the spell at some point, so that could have been a 2 for 0. He played it as well as he could have, but still, that kill was absolutely perfect.
Now we have to remember, Jensen's ulti is available and there's no flash bot lane from any of the Vitality members. Thresh is a super easy target then if you just hook him with the Nautilus into a Galio ulti. There is ways for C9 to try and counter the bot lane aggression.
And some of those ways come from outside this lane. They have a Galio ultimate available to them. Licorice has teleport ready on the Ornn that has been camped for and has gotten the early success for Cloud9.
Oh, he's baiting a little bit.
So yeah, Svenskeren is on a ward.
Ignite is on, gets a taunt, and almost knocked back. That timer just close enough. Jiizuke gets out.
Ooh, that was close, Jiizuke. He wants to be aggressive. He's always pushing it.
He saw the Taliyah standing right there.
Didn't care.
To play that game. Knew he had it down to the millisecond. Does back out right afterwards. Maybe, I think it was fishing for a flash there. It's one of those risks that you take into account. Maybe he can scare Jensen with a little bit of burst damage. Doesn't actually pay off for himself, but he knew that he'd be able to get out before the taunt of the seismic shove came through.
Yeah, also the chance that Jensen maybe could bait a little bit too much and then Ignite would come down and actually finish him. Kikis, as we just said, returns to the bottom lane. He has flash ulti, can use it straight on Sneaky.
Let's watch for the Lantern. Let's watch for the pull forward. Now Jactroll is on a ward. C9 are trying to play outside of Lantern ult range, and so far so good.
Cloud9 should know bottom lane has to play super defensively. They are the targets. Yes, there's a Galio on the field, but unless Jensen can roam, a quarter of the way down first, he's not going to have the range to get there in time. Kikis now does reveal himself on that ward.
And that ward may have saved the life because now Zeyzal walking around trying to track him, puts another ward down, looks for Kikis. That Scryer's Bloom didn't see Svenskeren, but that control ward certainly will. So they're aware of what can happen on C9's side. Kikis might walk into Jensen though.
Ornn ult is available. Teleports up for the top laners as well. They might decide to collapse here. Zeyzal level 6 on the Nautilus might start it.
Kikis over the wall, gets away. Now look for the play on Jiizuke. He's going to get rooted up in place. Taunt's not going to land on anyone just yet, but he gets some damage reduction. Now Jiizuke actually feels pretty safe. And baits out another hook from Zeyzal, so cooldowns down right now on C9's side as Scuttle goes over to the Vitality side. And looks like that's actually a decent trade on theirs.
I love that both teams are constantly looking for these small skirmishes against each other. Such an action-packed early game. Jiizuke is trying again, but it takes forever to burn through the Galio. Svenskeren on bottom side, still no flash on Jactroll's side. Hook him, he dies.
Started off with the Nautilus ultimate to guarantee, then Taliyah can make a wall and join, but looks like the recalls from Vitality are just in time. They're going to evade this gank without even trying.
Now that bot lane turret's getting pretty low. Vitality have brought that thing down to about 15%. One more good hard look at it. Might get first turret from bot lane for Vitality. They've recalled their dual lane. Storm Razor is done for Attila. That's good for pushing.
Canceled.
Okay, what's going to happen down here as the rest of the squad is waiting? But this is, of course, better items Vitality. Lantern just got used. And now another bit of aggression here on Jiizuke. That means Jensen cannot join this fight for a little while. Where's the engage going to be? Can they find Jactroll? That's going to be an ult coming across. And that's a nice stopwatch to buy a few seconds. Can he get away is the question. Does not have flash. Ornn comes across looking for a second kill as that's certainly going to be Jactroll going down. A nice jump into the air for Attila. They got to get out of there for Licorice. The flash to trade. He's going to stay alive. 1 for 0. And now the pressure towards that turret, but there's not much of a wave anymore to get anything done.
Now it's just going to be a race. Cloud9 are trying to push on bottom side, whereas they've got Rift Herald started up from Kikis. He should be able to get this one, and the recalls go off.
Yeah, we know C9, they need to stay and get the turret for this to be worth it, because they invested a TP as well, and now the Gragas coming down to stop this, while Kikis is still getting Rift Herald, so Vitality will lose a player, but will get a big objective topside.
And Jensen roams down from mid lane, pops the plant. After the reset here, it just comes out for a kill for Cloud9, and a Rift Herald picked up for Team Vitality.
Yeah, now Licorice can't join that bot lane anymore. That TP didn't do much of anything. Cabochard is walking his way back up to the top side, so maybe a bit of a waste of a summoner.
Just wanted to stop the push.
Yeah, he did so, of course. That might have been worth it overall. Jiizuke only getting autos off, and Jensen stays alive, going towards that Rod of Ages.
We also have to remember, now the Vitality bot lane is back. They can actually push while C9 is recalling. Anyway, let's see the replay. It's 3 people hiding in a brush against a Thresh, who will, of course, die eventually. The TP, that's the interesting choice here, to try and get 2 kills into the turret on the side of C9. But Attila was smart, stepped back, saved his ulti, and even tries to get the kill. But Licorice just managed to get out.
Yeah, interesting flash trade too, because Attila, now no ultimate or flash for himself to protect. They do return to the lane, get the turret for themselves,
Yes.
and this is first turret bonus gold for Vitality in addition to having the Rift Herald ready to use.
This is absolutely big right there. Xayah was already on one item, but got solo gold on that first turret, so he's really big now. Attila might do a lot of good things for Vitality. Now looking at the top side, it's time for round number 2. Cabochard has a flash though, buys a bit of time and hoping to buy a bit more. Finally does flash away, but Seismic Shove gets away from it. Licorice still in the chase, finds a slow. They will not find that kill. Cabochard stays alive.
Fancy feat right there from Cabochard. Svenskeren has been very active in this early game, picked up 2 kills, been part of the last one as well, but he didn't get the kill this time around. Mid is just the same kind of setup. Jiizuke trying to get a bit of trading, but Jensen playing passive.
The lane swap here from Vitality after taking the turret also does stop the recalls from Licorice and Svenskeren. So Vitality pushing once again, they do have a bit of momentum.
Exactly, I think the bot lane, especially with that TP bot from Cabochard last time, have managed to get just the tempo advantage against Sneaky and Zeyzal, who's caught a little bit. You know, they lose the bot turret, then they go bot and they realize, hey, we have to go top now, so they recall again for a second time. While Vitality already sitting in the lane, Cabochard is down bot lane now. Super close here in the early game.
And we still haven't had a Galio ultimate join or a LeBlanc roam looking for one of those early assassinations. That being said, Jiizuke does have the CS lead, as expected, over the Galio in the mid lane, and they actually use the Rift Herald here as well.
To mid with a lot of reinforcements here. 4 champions plus Shelly. It's going to be a very low turret. Won't go down unless they commit champion damage. But it's still a meaningful chunk off there. Mid lane down to about 1/3 HP. Kikis going to go for the attempts towards blue buff and Gromp down here on this side of the map. And taking more and more of Svenskeren's jungle away. Still up a camp right now as Kikis. And Cabochard is pushed in bot lane. No one is answering that just yet. So more and more gold actually being bled out of the map as Licorice can't walk through. He's 1v2 down there. The blue buff already stolen.
Cloud9 looking very reactionary right now, pulling down, contracting towards the mid lane at any sort of move from Vitality. Attila!
Big damage. Good Lantern though. He's all right.
We see Sneaky from yesterday against RNG where he died in laning phase multiple times. He was really far down. This one here, yeah, he's died once, but he's up in CS. It's definitely not been the same kind of game as he played against RNG. And C9 are getting this turret here. A lot of this comes down to Svenskeren, however, on this Taliyah. What a great early game from him.
Also, because timing has become so important, because Vitality had the extra 30 seconds there, Cloud9 don't even give solo gold over to Sneaky on the turret take. They have everybody join, get down as fast as they possibly can so they can get their reset off and purchase.
Zeyzal takes part of that share of 250 local gold, a little bit of that siphoned off. Not that Taliyah is bad with gold, but she's the breadwinner right now. 5,900, the highest on the team. Svenskeren is the one to carry here. He was benched off the team for a lot of that summer split. When Blabber came in, it looked like C9 had finally found a great jungler, but push came to shove. Svenskeren's the one on the world stage they seem to want and has managed to keep his form up against Kikis, still has those kills, had those early ganks, and he might be the one to carry and get C9 out of what could be a 0-2 start to Worlds.
It really has been a roller coaster year for Svenskeren and Cloud9 as a whole. Now though, looking at a pretty even mid game versus Team Vitality, with Sneaky completing his first item, Stormrazor ready to go on the Xayah, getting a little bit more attack speed to get his E evolution. And now it's going to be about the teleports coming down from the top laners in maybe 45 seconds to allow them to start these team fights out.
Yeah, we know with the Ornn it's very easy to start a fight, but obviously a lot of the Vitality members can be pretty tough to lock down, especially the LeBlanc, but also Attila and Xayah with his ulti. So it's not like C9 will get an instant engage on a carry every time, but they have the tools to always start a fight at least.
Yeah, Attila's flash has come back up from the bottom lane skirmish that they had, so he does have it available now. And we're seeing the convergence we are looking for. Ornn ultimate is off.
How many knockups they're going to get? Only the 2. Will they find the back line? That answer is no. The hook comes in towards Svenskeren. Going to stay alive. The duck comes across. A big taunt in the front line. Svenskeren's pushed with the Kikis. He's going to go down. The first kill. The fight goes to Sneaky. The knockback on a Licorice. Jensen slow gets a heal, walks away. Just the 1 for 0 and C9 disengaged.
And here we get it. C9 with Ornn moving in towards the mid lane. You will always be able to start the fight. Kikis went in, and when he actually jumped in, the entire team turned to him and killed him.
That was very surprising that Kikis actually went in there to me, because Vitality had just done a good job of avoiding one of the biggest teamfight cooldowns. The Ornn ultimate only resulted in a little bit of poke damage thrown out under the turret, but Kikis going in offers up Cloud9 a kill. Jiizuke will stop a recall, but that's about it.
But we know Vitality will never run away. They will always jump straight at you. They will take whatever fight you're going to give them. And that's just the nature of this team and why Kikis, without Cabochard being there yet, decides to jump in. His backline is not able to deal damage yet, and he jumps forward with just Jiizuke. Attila is sitting without ulti during this fight. It's just on a couple of seconds cooldown, so he's still feeling pretty scared. He can't move forward enough. And in the end, C9 stays alive.
I'd say this skirmish is also a very good depiction of the difference from yesterday to today. Two different kinds of combinations. Yesterday, lots of squishy champions, not a lot of structure for a team fight. This time around, a bunch of tanks on the front line applying plasma so that Sneaky had an easy killer instinct over to finish off the Kikis kill, and they had much more room to work with.
Well, Vitality have had very, very good mid games before, though. Their mid game against Gen G, they came back from a significant deficit against a great team, and now looking to siege in mid lane and will do so and put themselves back on equal gold right now. Sneaky and the rest of C9 certainly have tools, but Vitality, no slouches here either.
Oh, Zeyzal will try a hook. Ornn ulti comes again.
They get the knock up onto a single one. The hook towards a very squishy support as Kikis finds that kill. The Duncan as well. Jensen holds the front line and knock up onto Gragas, but he's pretty tanky. Seismic shove, and he jumps back away. Lots of damage onto Gragas. The team fight still goes on. Licorice from the front, looking to knock down Jactroll. One more shot would do him in. C9 chasing a 4v5, and they can't quite get that damage. Now looking to Kikis, he's going to walk away also, and it's Vitality's turn to win the fight.
Such a close fight. Again, the hook connects onto Zeyzal, keeps him in place. He dies. In the end, however, they didn't get the carries. C9 trying something mid. Jiizuke is on his way back.
Incredibly close. Jiizuke just showed how much burst damage he can apply to the backline. He's looking to flank around. Does miss the chain, and Licorice will be enough to ward him off.
Zeyzal's walking back into the map as well, so it's going to be a quick ceasefire. The game only 200 gold apart right now. Neck and neck, these teams. In what could be a battle for second. If Gen G is mortal, this could be a battle for who's the second best team in this group.
Couple of explosive little skirmishes we had around the mid lane. That focus fire took down Nautilus so quickly in Team Vitality's favor that they were able to recover and save their mid lane turret as well. They chased C9 off of any of that extra damage and retained the extra defense here, not allowing Cloud9 to push in and get those wards.
Second fight in a row, however, where we see Vitality, they can't properly reach the backline, other than with the Jarvan specifically. Kikis goes in here, but Svenskeren and Sneaky are untouched, so while they're dealing a lot of damage to frontline, which is good, it is a lot of the Vitality members who's forced to then flash out, jump back. Only Jiizuke gets in here. And while it was a good hook from Jactroll, this is where I would have loved the Rakan pick specifically, to follow a Jarvan when you are diving forward for Vitality. But at least if Jactroll can land the one hook and they get a kill, it's worth it.
Yeah, they were able to get the kill before Zeyzal even had time to pop his W shield there for the Nautilus. That's a huge part of the tankiness of this champion, especially from the support role. And he only had time to try and flash backwards, doesn't get it off. They do get the kill, but again, so close as far as the even gold spread in this game. It is going to be so much about setting up through the river right now, because Team Vitality are the first ones getting those wards down.
And the map is starting to spread out a lot more, so this vision can help you make sure you're not getting ganked. We're seeing Jiizuke side laning now against Jensen. The marksmen are now stuck into that mid side. The tank's on that bottom side, right side lane. And let's see who can control what right now. Sneaky, of course, not able to push the turret. Able to grab all this farm is Attila and Jactroll without issue, as the Blues also handed over no problem to the LeBlanc. And that'll be a nice mana lead on this side.
And we've already seen a couple of insanely close team fights. We're most likely seeing a lot more of those. Around the mid lane for Baron control is where both teams are looking right now. Sure, there's a bit more split push on the side of Vitality, but there's too much engage on the side of C9 to stop the LeBlanc from just sitting in the side lane. So we see the mid lane control. Attila trying his best just to wave clear. No one wants to do Drakes, by the way. We are 23 minutes in, and they're not even looking at it.
At a certain point, easy to take, and this actually might be the chance literally right now. Thank you very much, Deficio. And my favorite Drake is going to go to the eponymous team down here with bot lane priority. Now, Jensen's got to be careful. He is in a 1 versus 2 up here, and Aftershock might not be happening here. In this one, the taught's not going to matter. The dunk comes through, a kill in the top lane.
And this is something Jensen will actually do very often. He will completely ignore that his team is doing something on the other side and stay out in the lane. He realized a little bit too late, wait a minute, they're coming for me, and it took him down quickly.
C9 still want to get something out of that death, but look at the collapsing members of Vitality heading through their own jungle. They're on the way to mid lane, and Cloud9 are still there!
5 versus 4, Vitality want to kill him, and they're gonna find a hook. They're gonna find the shotgun on a Sneaky already. Looking for number 2, and Zeyzal's gonna drop as well. 3 kills in a row. Looking at number 4 as LICKR's running backwards, and they're gonna stay alive, but now their sights are set on Baron.
Cloud9 stay too long, and they give up 2 more kills. Jensen is going to be back out on the field, though, and he is Galio. That might be enough to deter them. Svenskeren's the only damage left, though.
LeBlanc over the wall. Chain's gonna land back across. Almost gets that kill picked up. He's burning.
He didn't get him.
The stopwatch. They're not gonna get the trade, and they're already on the Baron. What a kill for Jiizuke, and it's gonna be the catch as well. No way out for Jensen. He'll only get the trade, but crucially, Smite is down.
They stopped the Baron there for Cloud9 with some big plays from their mid laner, but Jiizuke had the extra swap here, finds Svenskeren, escapes out the other side of the Raptor pit, and this is definitely a fun one, boys.
Man, Jiizuke spent most of the summer split playing roaming champions. It was only towards the end he got back on carries. He's playing carries this tournament, and man, that was insane.
Well, that was cool to watch. Jensen did so much work for C9. Let's take a look at this replay, because yes, Licorice and Svenskeren are the ones on your screen. They are the ones that Jiizuke is trying to 2v1 over here, but Jensen, the Galio, doesn't chase around this LeBlanc. He goes straight to the Baron. That is important, and he bursts down 2 members of Vitality to stop them. But look at that happy face there from Jiizuke after the victory.
That replay brought to you by Acer Predator, and of course the fights are still continuing as the players respawn on the map. Baron still in the eyes. This action will not be stopping. The game, only 1,200 gold apart, but Vitality do have control. They have the waves push first. They've got deep rewards. They're setting up again, it looks like.
Oh, Zeyzal, does he want to land the hook here? Sneaky died last fight. Didn't get to use the heal in time. No flashing. That's kind of important when there's constant fighting. Always track the flashes here. Who can you actually pick off? No flash on Svenskeren, no flash on Sneaky, so Kikis' ulti will be huge in the next fight.
Jiizuke, 3 kills on the LeBlanc now. Has the magic penetration plus the Luden's Echo. Huge burst damage is possible, as we've seen already. Meanwhile, Attila, the other carry for Vitality, 3 kills for himself as well. Those are the 2 members that Cloud9 need to focus on.
And we know that Vitality like to get a fight first and then go Baron, and not the classic beautiful Baron setup, slow pushing minions and all that jizz and jazz. No, it is literally fight someone, kill them, take the Baron. C9, they know this, they are around, and they're also looking for the engage. They have the Ornn that's been so impactful with the ultis. He's looking for more.
And C9 have created Fog of War around this. The only wards close by at all are Vitality's control ward in that brush. That flag's going to tie him out, so C9 get to play the baits here as they walk forward. A blue trinket is there for Attila. LeBlanc can jump the wall, no problem. They see, okay, it's not started yet, but they're going to continually lose vision and have to play on that sort of knife's edge.
During that time, though, Cabochard was able to push up the bottom lane minions. So now you can see Licorice already got on the recall on Ornn, going to answer those, and Cloud9 pulled off of Baron for the time being.
And we are 3 full items on Attila to only 2 on Sneaky right now. I think Xayah is going to out-damage in a team fight. That's going to be a very big factor as they keep setting up around this ocean, around this river, I should say. A little bit smaller. As Jiizuke just simply spots out, but still, the wards aren't there. Vitality are playing with a little bit of darkness. Now looking forward again. Zeyzal gonna hold the front line, looking in the mirror, and it's gonna be the kill on his Svenskeren, the dunk towards the backline. Sneak gets away from that one with a 4v5. Could look even better. Vitality cuts it down to 3. A knockup. Finally a kill for Cloud9, but can they get the numbers? No! As Sneaky shut down as well. Another comes through. It is only Licorice left alive. Vitality will lose a second player, but they will get the ace, and they have control for Baron.
And that's how you set up Baron as Vitality. You walk into the river, you don't care about vision, you see a bunch of C9 players without flashes, and you just take the fight. Svenskeren dropped early, Sneaky dropped later, 5 kills for Vitality, and they get the big objective.
What an engage there by Vitality. They find Svenskeren at the very beginning of the fight, immediately take him off, and Jiizuke is able to navigate the rest of it flawlessly.
And this is why we said, in games with constant fights, we have to look at flashes all the time. No flashes on the carries here means that C9 can never really win this fight. The moment they're caught in the river, they will get engaged on. Much earlier, Cabochard walked from that bot lane to join his team here, and C9 did not respect it.
Jiizuke goes back in, finishes off the carry there. And they've got plenty of DPS to take down the Baron. Now let's see what Vitality can do with the Baron buff.
They can fight
power
C9.
their pushes.
Just keep fighting.
That was really good timing, of course. Licorice was pushing in that bottom lane wave you were talking about earlier to Officio. Had to go over there late to the fight. Really good dive. So now, yes, as you're talking about, with this Baron buff, with the gold lead, with empowered minions, and this buff on at least 3 of them, let's see how much they can do. Can Vitality close out a 32-minute game against C9?
Oh, here we go. 5-man engage.
LeBlanc's in the top lane. This could be a very good fight. They're going to look for the hook. Not going to find it, though. Jactroll could be stunned. But is that enough to matter on C9's side? They'll get a single kill. In comes the re-engage, though. Kikis going to buy some time with the stopwatch. And a huge blade caller comes across. But it's still 2 kills in for Cloud9. Reinforcements only now coming to Vitality down to a single tank. Jensen's got to walk back. Licorice holds the front side. Jiizuke wants the kill. Not quite going to get the kill on a Jensen as C9 walks away with 2 kills.
Plus, you have to check the ultimates available there. They had used all the crowd control. Cloud9 do sneak out, though. They've stalled the Baron push, and they're going to pick up the Ocean Drake on the way out.
And I told you, with the Baron buff, they're going to fight. They're not just going to push. They could have left Jactroll to die and let Jiizuke kill 2 turrets top lane. But no, Kikis went back in. The team took a 4 versus 5 until LeBlanc joined. Welcome to Vitality.
Well, they're still pushing up the minions on top side, but Cloud9 have had enough time to reset, so those aren't going to get too much value. Sneaky with the Banshees already should feel a bit safer around this LeBlanc, and it will be a nullifying team fight in mid lane to bring this one a bit closer.
Yeah, this is actually a big win for C9 because they stopped the pushes with the Baron buff. They know they have the engage tool to always force if someone is split pushing. That's why they go for the engage. But here, you can let your support die and everyone else can step away while your LeBlanc is pushing. But no, Kikis, he jumped back in.
Yeah, Kikis, he went for Sneaky there. He actually forced Sneaky's flash. So both marksmen use their flashes in this little skirmish. This will be very important for the next team fight that we do see coming up once again, but they started it already.
It's another battle. The ult's coming across now as well. Sneaky should stay alive pretty well against LeBlanc, and now Kikis is on the run away, but Licorice wants to get the ulti, gets away from the hook, looking for the re-engage. Can they knock down Cabochard? The plasma might help, but a nice explosive cast buys more time, and they will not get that kill. C9 will again slow down the Baron push, but no kills coming through.
Scattered team fight here. Jiizuke threatening on the top side, but they do disengage after all those ultimates are used. Cloud9 hold on to the turret. Vitality hold on to their gold lead.
Always so close. Svenskeren had to flash this time. Jiizuke is always looking for him in these team fights, and we know the damage is there. 10 stacks on the Soul Stealer on his side. He bought the Soul Stealer yesterday. Sadly, then he actually died and had to sell it again in the late game, but
they
he
still
won
won.
more. They still won in the end, but we've actually seen how the difference in how easy it is to force team fights has changed how much Vitality can at least dive onto C9 24/7. It's actually typically Licorice who's setting up engages with the Ornn. Still, Vitality are finding enough ways to always get the team fight, and both carries are looking very good.
It is very impressive considering how much more difficult it gets as the game progresses to play team fights out on LeBlanc. He's definitely finding his windows though. Cloud9 getting some vision here down around the Dragon Pit and moving towards Licorice, their split pusher, and the last, outer turret standing here on the bottom side. Just want to knock down some gold.
Hoping for an aggressive split push to try to find that bot lane wave. That's not going to happen here, so Sneaky going to grab this turret as we look at the total damage of the game, and pretty even spread actually for both teams.
Yeah, definitely true. I think to the LeBlanc team fighting point, and that's where a lot of damage from Jiizuke is coming now. The fact she was changed back to the old LeBlanc was like the best buff to her team fighting, so you can do more upfront bursts, not having to wait for that passive every single time. Just WR, and you can destroy someone in the back line.
And what you usually look for are point-and-click crowd control abilities to hold LeBlanc when she does come in for that burst damage. But all of these CC abilities are a bit delayed for Cloud9. They've got taunts, they have slow-moving hook here from Nautilus, and none of them are quite quick enough to hold down the LeBlanc enough time for them to actually get the kill. That's why he's got so much freedom.
Well, here, let's see what happens next. 3,000 gold separates the squads. A couple of mostly non-combat drakes in for C9, waiting for that next hard engage, as Gragas is shown bot lane, but does have TP.
And if you are C9, again, you need to be careful because your carries are sitting without flashes. We've already seen before when Vitality got the Baron, how important it is when they go against things like Jarvan, when you're against the LeBlanc that can reach you. You need these flashes to stay safe. There's an hourglass, however, on Svenskeren that could save his life. Nothing to keep Sneaky alive other than his own Banshee and his ulti.
About 40 seconds till that flash is back up. Vitality pushing in mid. Maybe trying to look enticing for C9 side. LeBlanc's in the back of this fight. He shoots over by that blue pit. Can't maybe join right away, but does have access to the back line when a fight does start. Comes back to join the squad. There's a hook in the front line. Here comes the fight yet again. C9 wants in. The knockers look up, and Zeyzal's gone right away. Galio delivered. How's the fight gonna go? It's 5v4. Stun towards Jiizuke, trying to get that chase down in the mid lane, but they're not gonna find that kill. He kites away, and a second kill is sure to come through as Jensen will drop. Vitality 2-0. The flash forward. Kikis staying alive, but does trade his life. 4v3. The push towards Licorice goes nowhere. Gets blocked up by the Cataclysm, and C9 have to run 3v4 on the map.
Oh, now it's Vitality with priority over Baron coming up in 43 seconds. They can try and clear out this Cloud9 vision and make them face check into the fog of war against this much burst damage. That is such a scary task.
Zeyzal tried again to be the frontliner, to be the main engage, but as a Nautilus in the late game, you're very squishy, and when he goes forward, he basically stuns himself so Jactroll can get him.
Also, there are big differences in the items. We have on Kikis a stone plate, which offers you so much teamfight survivability, but even with him going in, Zeyzal gets burned way quicker. Jensen does have the big zoning Galio ultimate. Sneaky tried to get over to the LeBlanc to Jiizuke to try and finish off that kill, but he's able to evade them with the passive and the W. Jensen failing to flash after he gets out of his zonias, but Kikis forced enough to jump in there with the Cataclysm and gives back the kill.
Yeah, he wanted to land a knockoff right there. Combo with flash at the end into then his ulti, but he just missed it. Timing slightly off and ends up just flashing for an auto attack. Attila, he was left untouched in that fight. Both summoners available for the next one.
That's what LeBlanc can do in these team fights. Take so much of the attention to the side, but we're back in it.
Round number 17. Ornn comes in, hits 2. But it's a disengage pretty cleanly now. Now watch out as Cloud9 is running. Kikis wants in. There's a big knockup available. Bit of damage there, and Svenskeren's down just above 1,000.
Yeah, Vitality, no. Without the Ornn ultimate, that is a huge setup and part of the team fight for Cloud9, so they wanted to take advantage here. Jiizuke moving up to the top side.
Luckily for C9, they stopped chasing because they had no vision of Jiizuke at first. It's all blue wards around the Baron itself. They didn't know exactly where he would show up. He could have gone into the back line. Jensen is
chucked out.
Look at Telfar, yeah.
But he has TP. Baron is being started right now.
It's gonna be a trade. It looks like it's gonna be Elder Dragon traded in for Baron. This is probably a better buff for Vitality, but with those elementals picked up, it's not too bad on Cloud9's side.
Can they finish the trade? It looks like they will be able to with the teleport used here. Cabochard and Jiizuke are headed down, but that will be enough to fend them off. Push now for Vitality. It looks like it's headed towards the top side. They make the call to cancel.
But now C9 needs to respect that the Elder Drake buff is so valuable in a team fight. It doesn't matter what you can do with your minions.
They've got 2. 3.
Jiizuke is going for the split push. Look at him over through the jungle walls, heading to the top side, whereas Cloud9 trying to force straight down mid.
With LeBlanc's spot, I think they could have gone for some real damage in that turret, but they've got to go back and respect the split push as Jiizuke recalls safely.
Baron buff makes your split push insane because it empowers your split pusher, Jiizuke, to take the turret quickly. Plus, with the Baron buff on your minions, it makes it equal to defend.
And also the quick recall when people are trying to collapse onto you. The fact you can go back to base that quickly. He actually stopped it again. He's just baiting them constantly.
He's got the time. No one's going to stop that one, so out he goes, and it completely stymied the push. Keep in mind, these buffs last a minute longer here for Vitality's side. Playing this sort of ring around the rosy, buying time, is going to give them a full minute where they've got Baron with no Elder on C9.
But Vitality, they need to be careful. Do not get too greedy when it comes to pushing. Ornn ulti will force the fight with the Elder Drake buff for C9. Yes, there's a big juicy wave bot lane now. You have your team here, but all of C9 are moving down.
This could be a fight right again, but the Xayah and the Ornn are both far away, so there's a little bit of time here. As the minions are getting burned down, this turret still falls to half HP, and Vitality is still getting farther and farther ahead in this one as they keep chipping away the cannons.
But just respect it.
Down.
Step back now. Do not risk it. 5 members. Let Jiizuke push mid. Kikis. Oh, as
Nope.
Risky.
Yeah, no flag. That means he has no dash to get out. He just walks away, though. Cloud9 aren't able to hook anybody down, and Jiizuke in the mid lane has made it up to the mid turret, so Vitality should get the extra pressure and knock these things down.
They're going to push farther ahead. It's already a 5,000 gold lead, but make that a little bit more now as bot lane tier 2 falls. C9 spent their time mid lane to respect LeBlanc, and it's ticking away for C9. Vitality looking at maybe a 2-0 start to the group stage. A somewhat...
Too early to call. Oh, the game
They're
is so
looking
close.
at it, though, with the Baron on 15 seconds till Elder Dragon times out. They'll have even more to do. Mid-tier 2, an auto attack away from dead, and it's now even farther ahead. Vitality are pushing and pushing into C9 space.
Yeah, C9 are not getting the fight. 5 seconds left on the buff. It's gone now. They could not go for an all-in. Actually, I think bot lane they could have tried. With the Ornn ulti, just said, we need something here. But because Jiizuke was sitting mid lane, they didn't want to do it. They would lose too much, probably an inhib if they were chasing for kills.
What a story unfolding for Vitality here at Worlds, though. Both of their carries in this game still have yet to die. Attila and Jiizuke both playing out of their minds, avoiding so much of this hard engage from Cloud9. I mean, we mentioned how many tanks that they have to work around, and they've done such a good job of it.
It's just awesome to see rookies on both sides fighting against each other. The two carries you just highlighted, they are two of the rookies. Jactroll, of course, being the other one for Vitality, or at least the rookies coming into the year have, of course, already played the spring split. Licorice and Zeyzal on the other side. It's been a rough game for the Nautilus. He was picked for the laning phase a lot to try and block the Thresh. He's tried to engage a couple of fights. He's died every single time.
Ooh, and Jactroll might find... No, not going to go for this one just yet. Licorice, pretty tanky on that 4,000 health.
The most difficult step for Vitality still remains, though, and that is cracking inside the inhibitor turrets. Cloud9 have a lot more defense to work with. If they can make Vitality funnel into a smaller area here, it would make it easier to start their team fight off.
We might just see Jiizuke always sitting alone in the lane, the one next to the 4 members, and just chipping away on the turret. Jump in, get one hit, jump out. Ooh, that one connects with Sneaky.
There's Jiizuke, and now they're playing for the red buff. That one is going to go to Sneaky, I believe he got that one, and that's going to be at least something positive on the Cloud9 side as they still weather this 6,500 gold deficit. Vitality have another game with a strong mid-game, good shot calling, building their leads from good fighting and good macro play.
Yeah, it's actually fascinating that in Europe, Vitality, whenever they lost the early game, will just kind of fall apart very, very quickly. Yeah. But both games they've played so far at Worlds, they've given up first blood, they've fallen slightly behind in terms of kills, but they bounce back very quickly. They do not stop. They actually look for a good engage, get a good fight. And this one has just been all about team fighting now.
They're definitely showing a lot of patience here in the later stages. We're now over 40 minutes. This is one of the longest games of Worlds we've had so far. And you can see about how Cloud9 are trying to clear out some of these wards through their jungle, but Vitality have pushed so far in, even clearing a single ward through one of these brush in their own jungle is such a dangerous task.
I do want to highlight that because of the Soul Stealer, there's no death cap yet on Jiizuke's side. He's sitting on 1,800 gold right now, but that definitely should be the next big thing for him to go for. You don't need the 10 stacks. You should get a death cap instead.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jensen here on the Galio with the full AP build has maxed out and will bring a lot of AoE magic damage to the big team fight if they can keep them in place, but that is the question.
They're up in a minute and a half. Looks like to be Vitality's target for this one, to wait. Be patient, wait that 90 seconds, set up that next team fight. With the gold lead they have, it is likely they close it out with one more battle.
Banshee's Veil actually pops there on Sneaky by them.
Oh, the hook!
Hook's gonna find, and that's gonna be almost a deletion. Svenskeren pops Zonia's, but he is certainly going to go down. A domination now for Attila, and a 5v4 push might be all Vitality needs.
That's why it's so dangerous to go through the jungle here. Each ward, Vitality do find the pick as Cloud9 are transitioning through. What a hook there from Jactroll. This earns them a lot of pressure.
Now, he will respawn in time for Baron, so if this power play means anything, this 5v4 means anything, it's gotta be a base siege. Only inhibitor turrets are left, and those are hard to push, but they're looking to try. As Jiizuke knocks out the Banshee's Veil, or deals a bit of damage towards Jensen, and the wave clear, pretty good, of course, from this Galio.
Yeah, full AP finish on Galio, does get most of them, but not enough. Vitality's finished down the turret.
And will they find that second engage? They don't quite have the tools just yet. C9 should give up the inhibitor. Defending a 4v5 is not likely. Good poke, though. Is that the sign to go with a low health Kikis? 10
like
seconds.
Vitality are trying to get away. Licorice does not use his ulti. Will he go for another one? Nope. Ends up just being Vitality disengaging. Now they're hiding around in the jungle as well.
But it's still contentious timing. There is not a Warmogs for this Jarvan. He will stay injured, and Svenskeren's back on the map. Has the Taliyah while there is a small window for C9 to have control of the map.
Baron's available. Vitality will get the vision from Scuttle Crab, which allows them to recall, but Cloud9 can still try and force the issue. It's definitely risky.
Yeah, you can't all recall here if you're Vitality. You need to stay on the map. C9 can always force the Baron.
And they're going to try.
Look at LeBlanc in the side rush here, looking for Svenskeren again.
He's going to look for the play. Svenskeren takes some damage. He's got a Galio coming, flashing to stay alive, but that is big damage. Here comes the engage. This is the play they need to have. The knockup lands, and they're going to find the kill at Jiizuke. 5v4 on the map. It's C9's time to turn it around.
Cloud9 now 5-man power play. Let's see if they can do it. Looks like re-engage.
A hook towards Jensen, but 5v4 could be good. Explosive cast turns it up, and Jensen to the front line still. Licorice holds up as well. Svenskeren's back in the mix, and it's Vitality forced to run. A big blade caller. Will it be the turnaround? C9 is injured. They've got only the Ocean to keep themselves healthy. With top and hip already dead, they're going to back off, and both big objectives are on the map. 30 seconds still on Jiizuke to respawn, and Licorice has Warmogs, and the team has Ocean. C9 can stay on the map.
Teleport being used by Jensen here. He's going for the recall to try and heal up in the fountain. They pull out the dragon, and here we go.
Every ult is on cooldown from Vitality's side. They can't really contest this one against 5 players. They're going for Jensen instead, trying to kite C9 away. But no, they just stick
This
to
is
the
second Elder, but Kikis has Smite. This is going to be a tight one, and second Elder goes to C9. This could be a huge team fight. It's still 3 seconds on the block. They find the knockup, and they find the kill. Attila goes down. C9 owns the map.
It takes 41 minutes, but Cloud9 finally get kills on the Vitality carries, and they get the big
Watch out for
objective.
top. The TP is coming top. They have to turn around right now. C9 must defend. One turret's already
He
done.
only gets one. He only gets one. C9 are still around the Baron. Jiizuke is back on the map. Attila is dead for 40 seconds. Kick is still very low.
They're starting Baron? What? They're actually so spread out. Cabochard is going for the recall, though, and he doesn't have his teleport anymore.
Kikis, he's low. Does he have the Otis? Not up from cooldown yet. He gets pulled back, but look how much damage C9 does.
Jiizuke is moving in. No, actually, he decides to look back towards the mid lane. Baron for C9. This all started with Jiizuke looking for a kill on Svenskeren. He didn't get it. With the Galio ulti coming in to save the Taliyah, and the turnaround from the Ornn ulti.
The big plays on the biggest of stage. Finding the picks this late into the game have the biggest rewards. Baron and Elder Dragon over to Cloud9 though. Now they've got the double endgame buff, and it is in their hands.
And they have so much time to work with. Double Elder lasts longer. It's already the longest game of Worlds 2018. They've already beaten that one from Vitality's previous foray onto the Rift by 2.5 minutes into this one. Jiizuke gonna pop up that Banshees, and Sneaky still has to be respectful. He's on full build at this point. But C9, you figure if there's a time to win, it is literally right now at the double buffs.
See how much they can take. Top inhib is still dead. Only one Nexus turret, but no TP for Cabochard. They are pushing the top lane right now, making sure to kill all the super minions.
Defending against this inhibitor being down, trying to push 2 lanes at once. They are going to collapse on this secondary turret. Even with super minions, they should be able to power right through Baron buff and the Elder Dragon burn. You can see right there. The tiniest bit of poke takes down 30% of your HP.
Have to try and kill the minions and stop the push,
But how can you? They're Baron.
it's just not possible, and C9 will get everything now.
They give up top and hip. Do they play for Nexus turrets? Does C9 keep pushing, or do they find another lane? The hook almost got Jactroll.
Both supports barely missing hooks right there.
They're going for
Cloud9
Nexus.
are done.
This is going to be the team fight to determine everything. The first turret at FHP. When does Vitality pull the trigger? There's still minions. They are still plugging away at the base, and C9 don't want to sit inside that. First turret will fall, but only a single cannon lives. Now the second wave, they're still shepherding. When does Vitality answer? Their base is losing more and more health. Some more poke comes through, still 1.5 minutes on the buffs. Here comes the push, the knockup. Sneaky's alive, he heals. He's still in there. They get the first kill. 1-0, C9, Attila stays alive. They get 2-0. Cabochard's burning down. They might have it, but Attila tries to turn it around. but it's an open Nexus. C9 makes the comeback happen. Are you serious? What a game. Insanity on the Rift.
Longest game of Worlds. Big plays from both sides. Cloud9 actually started out with the lead in this game, but Vitality took it over for over 25 minutes with amazing play from Jiizuke and Attila, going 40 minutes in the game without dying, but in the end, it just takes those 2 picks
Oh yes.
for C9 to turn it all around.
The big